So trying to continue my video about Renovationist Christianity here at an old Lutheran cemetery. My father was apparently of Lutheran German stock and my mother is an Irish Catholic, so I got that mix. And it's kind of neat to think that my Lutheran ancestors founded this cemetery. I think George Frederick Groh here came over in 1755 from Germany, and he's one of the founders of this cemetery in that church over there. And I think he fought in the American Revolution. He's got that little plaque for the American Revolution thing. And I can go walk around and find a bunch of other people with my same last name. I just read Martin Luther's 95 points, and right off the bat, he's just wrong about everything he's saying, really. But what is he right about? There's only one thing you can argue that he was right about, was that he didn't have access to microscopes and telescopes and mathematics and modern philosophy. He wasn't able to communicate or listen to the ideas of people who've been thinking about certain things for their whole lives, like I'm able to do when I watch YouTube videos. So, he did, he put his full heart. He said, it's got to be the Bible, has to be the truth. And Jesus has to be that one person that's super special, that showed the way about the nature of God. And I think like the second thesis he has is the 95 thesis, is something about embracing our full sinfulness, and and that only through repentance we can have the truth. And I just don't think any of that's true. But I'm not saying he was wrong in a way. You know what I'm saying? Why am I saying he wasn't wrong? Because like so many of the old Christian saints, popes, they're doing the best they can. And this goes for all the religions, really. They're doing the best they can with what they know. They experience great things in their minds. I mean, I've absolutely have experienced what I now believe were hallucinations brought on by aesthetic practices of involving prayer and what have you. And I saw God, I saw angels, I saw great things. There's no question that I had those experiences in my time, but it's only through hindsight that I come to realize that those were just things that were inside my mind, and in the combination space of all the different ways my neurons in my brain can be arranged. I'm going to think about all kinds of stuff. Now, I don't have that piece of paper that I wrote that last video on in front of me. I don't have that piece of paper, but I think I left off when somebody called me, and I left off. I was talking about. I don't remember what I was talking about, which is, part and parcel of myself. I do let my mind wander, and I think it's part of my genius, and it's also part of my, I'm not able to think linearly sometimes, but I'm doing the best that I can. So I got a name for what I am, and I'm giving myself that name, this weekend. I kind of did it Friday night, I think, and now I'm making it, certain here today on Palm Sunday. I'm a Renovationist Christian. I'm trying to develop a theology and a religion based upon the fullness of everything that I understand, that I've been able to learn from listening to others, that I was able to study in college about mathematics and physics, and everything that I know about history, and everything that I know about Christianity, and everything that I know about Judaism and Islam, and everything that I know about war and money. And I used to go to that daycare over there. And I used to go to that school, Torah Academy, but in my day it wasn't a Jewish school. It was Wynwood Road Elementary School. I used to play in this playground growing up. Best friend used to live right down here on Sutton Avenue. I haven't seen him in a very long time. Talked to him on the phone once, like 15 years ago. But what am I thinking? So I'm a Renovationist Christian. One of the key, I want a symbol. And so one symbol I'm thinking is a hammer. And so I might like wear a hammer lapel or something, some kind of symbol that's a hammer. because the symbol of the hammer, it can be used to as a great tool that can use to build and to destroy. It can be used to do many things, but it can also be used to renovate. And I'm not trying to destroy any Christian religion. I'm trying to renovate them so that the leadership of of any Christian religion is going to be able to accept beliefs that I have as being acceptable. I should be able to be the Pope. I should be able to be a priest. I should be able to be a minister and talk about exactly what I think is true without, and being as objective as I possibly can, not trying to make money for myself. I'm going to go over to where my grandmother and my grandfather are buried. Also, it's so beautiful. I got an opportunity. I came here because I kind of had to come over here. I have to go do something in a minute. And I just thought it would be a great place to stop by since I had a little bit of time. But my Irish grandparents, I also drove by my Irish Catholic grandparents, is where they're buried on the way here, down over at St. Denis. And this is where my grandfather went. This is where my grandfather and my grandmother are buried. And I knew my grandmother, Carolyn, very well. But my Protestant grandfather I never met. He died in 1957. So one of the key ingredients of being a renovationist, I'm kind of making some of this stuff up as I go, but it's been coming together for a few years now, is you have to teach other people about what you believe. You can't be silent. And that's going to be hard. Some people are going to have beautiful, pious beliefs about God and Jesus and whatever. And because they have these beautiful, I suppose, pious beliefs, they limit themselves in a deeper understanding of the nature of reality. And that we can certainly get from the laws of physics and mathematics. And so the thing is you have to challenge people. You can't just because right there, if you believe in all the stuff that I believe in, then what good is it if you don't go out and share it with others? What good is it if you don't try to explain it to others and then get feedback so that others will be like, wait a second, are you sure you're right about this? And then so you can't not, so you have to evangelize. This is what I'm ultimately getting at. And you have to beat the evangelists who are evangelizing nonsense. I mean, like the Jehovah's Witnesses, I suppose, or the Mormons, I suppose, or all these other groups that are trying to, get you to involve yourself with some stupid religious sect that doesn't, doesn't take into account all of the available evidence. And that's going to be the key. What is the evidence telling us? Look at all the available evidence and then fashion a set of beliefs. I mean, there's that one YouTuber, Bishop Barron. I try to listen to the guy. It's hard because he's right about some things he says. And here's one thing he says is like, faith takes over where reason comes to an end. Well, he hasn't let his reason come to an end. That's my opinion. It's like, he takes his reason as far as it wants to go. And if he keeps going with his reason, he's going to kind of realize, maybe I'm saying things that aren't true here. So then I'll act like I took it to the limit and then be like, now faith takes over. Nah, I've gone further with my reason than that guy. You know what I mean? And that's my opinion. And so I'm just going to have to just, hold his feet to the fire and be like, you're just wrong, pal. And I can go on and on and on about this. But when you look at the history of Western Europe, when you look at the history of the world, and you just think about the fact that Jesus was probably one of those guys, and there's been more than one of them throughout the history who put their lives on the line to do something that was important and necessary. I think Jesus was very likely one of those people. So he's definitely worthy of consideration. And you think about the 2,000 years of people who have embraced
the title of Christian, have embraced their Roman Catholicism, have embraced their Christianity, and used it as the foundation of their lives. And look how successful they've been because of that. Now, there's all kinds of reasons why they were successful. Just read that book like Homo Sapiens by the Uri guy. He'll make you understand what was going on there more clearly than anybody. It's like it's any organizing principle of society. If when a million Homo sapiens get together and decide this is the set of beliefs that we're all going to accept, so we can identify one another, then that group is just going to be very, very successful. So that's what happens. But I don't want to. I think humanity needs to evolve forward, and one of the best evolutions I could offer humanity would be the idea that we no longer have to embrace lies. We no longer have to embrace lies as a way of identifying one another, or we no longer have to embrace things that are probably just not true, and so there's a better way that we can link each other. So we take the best of the Enlightenment and move the Enlightenment forward. You don't have to burn down the churches in the name of math and science, but resurrect the churches in the name of math and science. It's because it's like, who doesn't want to have a beautiful place to get together with the other members of the community and sing songs and listen to somebody get in front of us and motivate us to do things that are good, and etc. This is a beautiful, obviously awesome, beautiful, necessary process. But why does it have to be linked to such fundamental nonsense? And then, comes the final point, and there's no ultimate final point with me, obviously, but one big thing I would ultimately wind up saying, is I don't know. It's just, it's time for us to grow up a little bit. Something like that. I love y'all.